Hi there, today we're talking about order of operations with variables, or GEMDAS with variables. And I'm on page 29 in your binder. So if we are solving this problem, the first thing we need to do is we actually made a mistake here. So we need to change this 4, so if you need to, cross it out, and make it into a -2. Alright, so that was the first thing we needed to do. Now, we can actually solve this problem now. We're going to evaluate or solve if m equals -2. Now, because there's a negative with this number, it's very important to plug it in with parentheses. And if you need to make a note of that, you can do that. Plug in with parentheses. And that's always a good habit to have, but you always want to do it especially when there's a negative or when you're substituting in a fraction. If it's just a regular whole number, then you're fine, but it's always good practice to plug in with parentheses. So we're going to plug in this value of -2 everywhere we see an m. So let's recopy the problem. So we have 7 times m, which is -2, over -2, make sure you change that, minus 2 times m again, which was -2, minus 3. Now, I'm still going to follow my regular order of operations, so do I have any groupings? I don't have any traditional groupings like parentheses or brackets, but remember when I'm solving a fraction problem, I want to get rid of all the stuff on the top and then all the stuff on the bottom and then do the division between them. So I'm going to do 7 times -2 first, which gives me -14 over -2 minus 2 times -2 minus 3. And then I'm going to finish out this fraction here. Remember, there's division there. -14 divided by -2 gives me a +7 minus 2 times -2 minus 3. I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to come up to the top again. I need to solve my multiplication first. So I have 2 times -2. So I'm going to have 7 minus -2. And I'm putting it in parentheses so I don't lose this negative. Minus 3. Now remember, when I have negative, this minus minus, it turns into that big plus sign. So don't forget about that. That was part of our integer rules from our first unit. So I'm going to solve 7 plus -2. Oh, it's not -2. Holy schmoly. Mrs. Mulchaney's making mistakes left and right. This is actually a -4. So I have 7 plus 4 now. My fault. And that gives me 11 minus 3. So if I do 11 minus 3, I'm now left with 8 as my final answer. Alright, so let's look at 2 example problems before you try some on your own. So in this problem, we're plugging in 2. Now because it's a whole number, I don't necessarily need to use parentheses because it's not a negative and it's not a fraction. So let's plug this in. I'm going to do 4, but I'm still going to use parentheses because it's good practice, times 2, minus 10 divided by 2. Alright, still going to follow my GEMDAS. Do I have groupings? Nope, just single numbers and groupings, so it's like a fake out. Any exponents? No, but I do have multiplying and dividing. I'm going to do the multiplying first since it's first in line. 4 times 2 gives me 8 minus 10 divided by 2. Then I have this division here, 10 divided by 2. So now I have 8 minus 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then 8 minus 5 gives me 3. So my final answer for that one would be 3. Try number 2 on your own. Pause the video here, try it on your own, and when you're ready to check your work, unpause the video. Now that you've done this one on your own, let's check it together. So I'm plugging in a 3 for my problem. So I'm going to write -2 times 81 divided by 3 to the 4th power, close your parentheses, plus 3. Alright, make sure you're very careful by copying it correctly. Now I have groupings here and I have an exponent inside of my grouping, so I need to solve that first. So I have -2 times 81 divided by 3 to the 4th power is 81. So that's what I solved right there. Plus 3. Now I need to finish off this grouping. 81 divided by 81 is going to give me 1 plus 3. Then I need to do my multiplication before my addition. Negative 2 times 1 gives me negative 2 plus 3, and negative 2 plus 3 gives me 1 as my final answer. Alright, so your job is to finish the rest of page 29.